She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Musa here, and today I'm bringing you my predictions of the entirety of the season for the AFC, every single team and division. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, kicking it off with the AFC East, we got the Buffalo Bills, who I expect to win their division and be the second seed in the AFC playoff picture. Now, I believe they will go 12-5, 9-3 in their conference, and 4-2 in their division. Josh Allen and that offense will be incredible this year, along with that defense. They're improving year by year, and I believe that this year they might not only make the AFC Championship game, but maybe push forward to Los Angeles for Super Bowl 56. But I'm still thinking that they still have to do some more things before they even get a chance at Super Bowl 56. Now, up next, we got the Miami Dolphins, who I expect to also go to the playoffs this season, and they also have a 12-5 record, an 8-4 conference record, and a 4-2 division record in the AFC East. Now, I'm going to say this, Miami, Tua Tagovailoa, and that offense preparing for a good season. I'm not expecting them to reach the divisional round. Maybe they get there, but they're definitely not getting to the AFC Championship game. But this team is improving little by little. And honestly, I'm seeing that the Miami Dolphins, whether they make a trade for Deshaun Watson or not, I think that this team will be very interesting in the 2021 NFL season. Now in third place, we got the New York Jets, and I'm going to say 9-8 for the New York Jets. Yes, they get a winning season, but they're not making the playoffs. They will go 6-6 in their conference and 2-4 in their division. Honestly, I see a Zach Wilson-led team winning more games than they lose, go over 500. But when it comes to making the playoffs, this is not the year. And honestly, getting Robert Saleh as your head coach is also a good opportunity. They did very well in acquiring not only their franchise quarterback, but also getting him protection. Also from last year, I believe Mekhi Becton. I don't remember when he was selected, but he was a good guy to select for the New York Jets. Honestly, the Jets aren't making the playoffs, but they're a team to watch out for. Now, last place for the AFC East, I'm going to say the New England Patriots. Now, I know recently they released Cam Newton, but I don't think Mac Jones will lead them to a winning season. And why? Because it's going to be a rookie year, and this rookie year for him will be a slump year, as he will not have the same success as he had in Alabama. He will have little success in New England his first year. He'll improve and get better year by year under Bill Belichick and that offense led by Josh McDaniels. But I still believe that the Patriots do have a future with Mac Jones. They only have to do the correct thing for him. Now on to the AFC North, where I have the Baltimore Ravens winning the division at a 10-7 record. They will most likely get either the 3 seed. They will get the 3 seed. And they also will have a 7-5 conference record and a 4-2 division record. Now, when it comes to Baltimore, Lamar Jackson is the guy. J.K. Dobbins' injury out for the year. That's going to be hard on the run game for the Baltimore Ravens. But next man up. They got some very good receivers, I think so. They got Rashad Bateman in the draft. That's pretty good selection. They got a pretty decent defense. I think that this team will definitely be one of the teams to make the playoffs, but they're going to have very tough games against Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and possibly even Cincinnati. Now, on to the next team, which is the Cleveland Browns, and I think the Browns will go 9-8 and miss the playoffs. I think this year it's going to be a downgrade when it comes to the wins, but I think Cleveland is still good enough to make the playoffs in the future. As long as they keep upgrading the team, I think the Browns are all right. They're going to have a tough time with Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but I still think that the Cleveland Browns are still a good team. At least they will get to the playoffs, not this year again, but in the future, as I don't think Cleveland will be even close to beating Kansas City or Baltimore or even Buffalo in the playoffs. Now on to the third place team, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I have them going 8-9, 5-7 within their conference, and 3-3 within their division. Now, when it comes to Pittsburgh, they got Ben Roethlisberger, but I don't think that he's on a basically a recovery year. As last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers were good, but what happened in Cleveland showed what team they really were. And now without Marquise Pouncey as the center position, that is going to be a tough time for Pittsburgh. But regardless, that doesn't mean they are not good. That just means that they need to upgrade the team. And I don't think Chase Claypool or even Juju Smith-Schuster are good options. I think they're good receivers, but good options for Big Ben? I don't think so. Now on to the Cincinnati Bengals, where I have them going 4-13. Now this is only because of their offensive line being trash, and that's what's going to kill them again. I don't think their offensive line is good enough, and they'll be going 4-8 in their conference and 2-4 in their division. Now, I'm just saying this, even though they got a bad offensive line, that doesn't mean they can't do things, at least on defense. And I think that's what's going to make other teams such as Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Baltimore struggle, because their defense is alright. It's an alright defense, but if you don't protect Joe Burrow, you're going to have a bad time again, and you won't have a running game. Now, on to the AFC South, where I have the Tennessee Titans winning that division and being the number 4 seed. 9-8, then 6-6 in their conference, and 4-2 within their division. That's what I see the Tennessee Titans as. I know they got Julio Jones. I know they got A.J. Brown. I know they got Derrick Henry. I know they got Ryan Tannehill. But that still doesn't change the fact that if the Titans' defense doesn't do well, then that's not going to be why you have a very good offense if you don't got a very good defense. Defenses win championships. And that's what I think you need to improve on, definitely. Because if you can't stop the other team from scoring, then what's the point of scoring yourself? Just to be tied? That's not the point. The point is to win. And I believe they need to upgrade that defense. But Dupree is not an upgrade to that defense. Now on to the Indianapolis Colts, who I have going 8-9, 7-5 in their conference and 5-1 in their division. Now I'm just saying this, I don't care if Carson Wentz starts, which he is going to be starting 100%, but what I think is going to happen is that Carson Wentz is going to go down with an injury again if that offensive line doesn't protect him, which I do believe that they will be able to protect Carson Wentz. But the fact is that offense that good? Maybe. Marlon Mack in that backfield. You got receivers like T.Y. Hilton who won't be playing as well. And also Carson Wentz has not been able to play a single preseason game. So there's another issue. He hasn't been getting game reps with his wide receivers. He's only had them during practice. And that is something that will trouble Carson Wentz throughout this entire season, but that defense is still very good. So if anything saves the Indianapolis Colts, it's their defense. Now on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence ain't gonna be good enough to get them to the playoffs. Although 6 wins, 6-11 record for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 5-7 in their conference and 3-3 in their division. Now, to be honest, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to have to go it alone without their running back who they drafted in the first round, Travis Etienne. I believe he's out for the year as well. And that just shows that they got to make James Robinson, the incredible running back they had last year, become an incredible running back again. And I think that this team, even though they got a more or less decent team now, they're still not going to be a top 10 team or even a top 20 team. I think that this team will 100% miss the playoffs, but in the future, if you do it right with Trevor Lawrence, you will make the playoffs and possibly make the Super Bowl. Now, on to the Houston Texans. We're definitely going to have a 2-15 record, 2-10 in their conference, and an 0-6 season in their division. Now, the Houston Texans will 100% not be playing Deshaun Watson. He will be traded no matter what happens. Tyrod Taylor, I do have some faith in him, but this team is just not it's just not hopeful for the Houston Texans this year. That defense is not good. That offensive line is not good. And trading away DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson was the worst trade the Houston Texans ever made. And luckily that's on the shoulders of Bill O'Brien, not on the current head coach of the Houston Texans. But regardless of that, the fact that they still have the David Johnson is beyond me. Like, why would you do that? Even so, I think the Houston Texans will 100% either have a top 5 draft pick or maybe even the first overall pick, even though that first overall pick wouldn't even be theirs. Now, on to the AFC West, where I have the Kansas City Chiefs as the number 1 seed and the number 1 team in this division, winning the division over the LA Chargers, going 14-3, 10-2 in their conference, and 4-2 in their division. Now, I'm going to just say this. The Chargers is the most likely threat to the Kansas City Chiefs in this division. But regardless of that, I see Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and every single one of those receivers, whether it be McCole Hardman, whether it be Tyreek Hill, whether it be tight end Travis Kelce, I don't care who it is. Honestly, that offense will be improved from the Super Bowl loss they took from Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this year, they'll make the playoffs once again. And once again, I do believe they will make the Super Bowl and repair the mistakes they did in Super Bowl 55. Now, on to the Los Angeles Chargers, which I have going 14-3 as well, 10-2 as well, and 4-2 as well, just like the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs win the division via tiebreaker. There's no way that the LA Chargers will be making the playoffs as the division champs. They will most likely do it in the wild card. And honestly, I believe in Justin Herbert and this offense. I believe in that defense. This team is going to be insane in 2021. And we will see them make the divisional round. And maybe even see the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Now we got the Las Vegas Raiders making the playoffs as the 3rd seed. At the 3rd position in their division. But regardless of that, they will go 9-8, 6-6 in their conference, and 4-2 within their division. Now, they beat out the freaking Cleveland Browns for that wild card spot, mostly because of the division record. But it's in between them two for that last wild card spot. But regardless of that, the Las Vegas Raiders have lost a lot of offensive line that troubles me a bit. But regardless of that, I think they make the wild card and lose in the wild card. I don't think the Las Vegas Raiders will make it further than the wild card round in the playoffs this year. But, anything could happen. Now, in dead last in the AFC West, we got the Denver Broncos led by Teddy Bridgewater, who will most likely be benched at one point. But regardless of that, I think the Denver Broncos will go 3-14, 1-11 in their conference, and 0-6 in their division. Now, they'll most likely get the 2, maybe the 3 pick. I don't really know. But regardless of that, I think that the Las Vegas Raiders is 100% better than this team. So is the Kansas City Chiefs, and by basically every team in this conference, except for the Houston Texans. But regardless of that, I think that they can do better. They did select a good player in Patrick Surtain in the first round in the NFL draft. Very good cornerback. But I think that they should have selected at least a future franchise quarterback like Justin Fields. Although, you would have the bench Justin Fields rather than start him, and then build a team that will be ready for Justin Fields in the future. But regardless, the Denver Broncos will 100% have a top 5 draft pick. Now, as I said once before, the Kansas City Chiefs will be the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed will be the Buffalo Bills. Then you get the Baltimore Ravens at the 3rd seed. The 4th being the Tennessee Titans. The 5th, the Los Angeles Chargers. The 6th, the Miami Dolphins. And then you end it with the Las Vegas Raiders as the 7th seed. Now, the playoffs would be like this. The Titans versus the Chargers. The Ravens versus the Dolphins. And the Bills versus the Raiders. Now, I believe that this will be an interesting playoff picture. This is how I see it will go. And honestly, out of these teams, the most likely to make the Super Bowl is 100% going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. But as far as I can see, any of these teams, especially Los Angeles, Baltimore, and Buffalo, also have a chance to make the playoffs and also have the chance to make the AFC Championship and destroy the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, who do you think will be the #1 seed? And tell me your playoff picture in the comments below. Also, tell me who you think will be the AFC champions of this year. Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.